Welcome to today's video where we'll be exploring the role of the EU Customs Union and how it impacts trade policy. The EU Customs Union is one of the cornerstones of the European Union's economic integration. But what exactly is the EU Customs Union? Simply put, it's a system that allows goods to move freely between member countries without customs duties or restrictions. It also applies a common external tariff on goods entering the EU from non-EU countries. And this means that once a product enters the EU through any member state, it can move freely to any other EU country without additional tariffs. One of the key advantages of the system is the creation of a single market for goods. Businesses in EU member states benefit from simplified cross-border trade, which reduces costs and administrative burdens. For example, a car manufactured in Germany can be sold in France without facing any additional tariffs or complicated customs procedures. And this encourages competition, efficiency, and ultimately benefits consumers through lower prices and a greater variety of goods. But the customs union is more than just about free trade within the EU. It also plays a crucial role in shaping the EU's external trade policy. By applying a common external tariff, the EU acts as a unified bloc in trade negotiations with non-EU countries. This gives the EU significant bargaining power when negotiating trade agreements. Countries outside the EU often find it attractive to negotiate deals with the EU because it gives them access to the entire EU market of over 400 million consumers. Trade deals with countries like Canada, Japan, and South Korea have been made possible in part due to the collective strength of the customs union. But the customs union's impact isn't limited to trade deals. It also ensures that member states apply the same standards when it comes to imports from non-EU countries. And this helps to protect EU consumers from low-quality or unsafe products entering the market. At the same time, it helps EU businesses remain competitive by preventing unfair competition from countries with lower standards or production costs. Another important aspect of the customs union is its role in customs checks and procedures. Because goods can move freely within the EU, there's no need for time-consuming customs checks at internal borders. And this helps reduce delays and costs for businesses, making the EU market more efficient and competitive. However, customs checks still apply at the EU's external borders. This ensures that goods entering the EU comply with the same standards and tariffs no matter which member state they enter through. In practice, this means that a product entering the EU through a port in Italy will face the same customs procedures and tariffs as a product entering through a port in the Netherlands. The customs union also facilitates trade by harmonizing rules on product standards, safety, and labeling. And this ensures that products can be sold across the EU without having to meet different standards in each member state. For businesses, this reduces the complexity and cost of exporting goods to other EU countries. However, the EU Customs Union is not without its challenges. For one, it requires a high degree of coordination between member states. This can sometimes lead to disagreements, especially when it comes to setting tariffs on certain goods or negotiating trade deals with non-EU countries. Some member states may feel that their specific industries are not adequately protected or promoted in EU-wide trade agreements. And there's also the issue of sovereignty. By being part of the customs union, member states give up some control of their own trade policies, and they do this willingly. And this was one of the key issues in the Brexit debate, with the UK ultimately deciding to leave the EU and regain control over its trade policy. The UK's departure from the EU highlighted some of the complexities of leaving the customs union. For the UK, it meant regaining control over tariffs and trade agreements, but it also resulted in the reintroduction of customs checks and border controls with the EU. This has had a significant impact on trade between the UK and the EU, especially for industries that rely on just-in-time supply chains. It also led to increased bureaucracy and costs for businesses that trade with the EU, as they now face customs checks, tariffs, and other barriers. And despite these challenges, the EU customs union remains a vital part of the EU's trade policy. It has helped to create a large integrated market that benefits businesses and consumers across Europe. It also gives the EU significant leverage in global trade negotiations, allowing it to pursue its trade interests on the world stage. So in conclusion, the EU Customs Union plays a crucial role in facilitating trade within the EU and shaping the EU's external trade policy. It promotes efficiency, reduces barriers to trade, and strengthens the EU's negotiating power in international trade agreements. However, it also requires coordination and compromise between member states, and some countries may face challenges when balancing national interests with EU-wide policies. As global trade continues to evolve, the role of the EU Customs Union will remain central to the EU's economic strategy. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video has helped to clarify the important role of the EU Customs Union and its impact on trade policy. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video, which is right here in the end screen.